Hey guys, this is Christian here, and today I'm going to be doing my ranking of every single Christopher Nolan movie. Before I get into this live stream, please like, subscribe, and tell me what you think of it. So, because the Odyssey released last week, I'm going to be ranking every single Nolan movie now that I've watched all of them. So, yeah, with all that said, I think we should just get right into it. Ranking may be a little controversial, but there's 13 films to rank. So, we're going to start with my least favorite, then go on to my favorites. So in last place for me, I have The Dark Knight Rises. I think this is the only Nolan film I would give a negative rating to. Um, it's such a disappointing conclusion to the trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy. There are some good elements to it. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt as basically this police detective. I like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I thought she was good. I was disappointed though with how little Batman was in it. Oh yeah, there will be spoilers for every Nolan film. I was disappointed with how little Batman was actually in it. Obviously, Bruce Wayne's is in it a lot, but there isn't a lot of Batman. There's a good amount of the film where he's just confined to a prison. I was also mixed on Tom Hardy's Bane. I thought he looked cool and his motivations were interesting, but I hated his voice, and but I hated his voice, and I thought he reminded me a little bit of like an inferior Joker in some scenes. Then there's Marion Cotillard as Talia al Ghul. I thought she was fine, but I thought her performance was a little flat, and she was kind of a weak villain. And I thought the motivation for why she and Bane were working together was very convoluted. So yeah, disappointing film. Some of the action's cool, but yeah, there's a lot wrong with the story. There's a lot of it's convoluted. There's moments where I thought Alfred abandoning Bruce was out of character, and yeah, disappointing conclusion to the Dark Knight trilogy. So that's why the Dark Knight Rises is my least favorite Nolan film. Next, we have number 12, which is one of his more recent films. So my number 12 is, I'm going to pull up here, one of his more recent films, Tenet. Tenet, again, there's cool action. There's the opening opera scene, which was cool. The plane scene was cool. It looks nice. The score from Ludwig Göransson is amazing here. Some of the performances are great. Elizabeth Debicki and Robert Pattinson are probably my favorite performances here. Oh, John David Washington was good as the protagonist. That's his name. As for the negatives, I thought Kenneth Branagh was awful as the villain. The character was horribly written. The sound mixing wasn't great at times, with the music overpowering the dialogue. And the story was super confusing and hard to follow a lot of the time. But yeah, well-made movie, decent performances here and there, but I think it's just a mixed bag. There's some good elements, but the script's flawed. The villain's horrible. Yeah, Tenet, not a huge fan of Tenet. Next up, we have my number 11, which should probably be most people's number 11, but I just think I just think The Dark Knight Rises and Tenet are a little more flawed than this one. But my number 11 is Christopher Nolan's first movie, Following. I think as a directorial debut, it is pretty good. It has the non-linear storytelling you would expect from him. It has great performances. The black and white cinematography was cool. The story was quite engaging, but it felt a little disjointed until the third act. And then even with the third act, how everything came together, it left me a bit puzzled and it was a little confusing. But aside from that, I think it's a good directorial debut, good starting point. So yeah, Following, I think it's good. Not amazing, but it's good. Next up, maybe a number 10, maybe another controversial placement. I know a lot of people who love this movie. Another more recent one from 2017, Dunkirk. I think Dunkirk is one of Nolan's best made films. The cinematography is phenomenal. The score is great. The editing is great. The sound's great. It's very intense. The intense moments hit. As for the performances, I thought Cillian Murphy was great. The direction from Nolan was great. However, this movie has three stories going on, and I wasn't really super invested in any of them because the characters weren't that interesting, aside from Cillian Murphy's character. But there's a big cast here. You have Barry Keoghan, Mark Rylance, Tom Hardy, Harry Styles, Kenneth Branagh's in there. So yeah, big cast, but a lot of the characters are very thin, so it made me a little bit. It made me less invested in the story, but it's a beautifully made movie. So it's one of those films that I appreciate a lot and respect a lot, but more so than I actually love it. But I do think it is a good film. At number 9, I have, this is one of Nolan's earlier films. I'm gonna share my screen. Insomnia. Insomnia is another good Nolan film. The performances here are great from Al Pacino and Robin Williams. Not really a role you typically see from Robin Williams as a villain, so I thought he was great. Hilary Swank was great. The direction from Nolan was good. The story was very intriguing, and I liked how nuanced this detective story was. I do think the editing was a bit choppy in some sequences, and this movie also doesn't really have any moments that really made my jaw drop or anything like that. But it's still a great movie. Not a masterpiece, but I like Insomnia. So that's number 10, I'm pretty sure. No, this is number 9. 8. Yeah, number 9, Insomnia. Next up, I have another one that I feel like some people may have higher, but this is another 2000s Nolan film, The Prestige. Gotta get the poster up. So yeah, The Prestige, another great film. Took me a little bit to get into it, but by the ending, it definitely won me over. The performances are great from Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. Michael Caine's great. Scarlett Johansson's great. The production design was amazing. All the other technical aspects are great. The direction's great. And I thought the story here was very intriguing. I loved how it tackled themes of obsession within this whole magician rivalry. And the ending I thought was phenomenal. So yeah, it took me a little bit to get into, but ultimately I think it's another great Nolan film, The Prestige. So that's number 8. Then number 7, I have Batman Begins. So yeah, Batman Begins is an amazing start to this trilogy. I thought the script here is great. The directing is amazing. Performances are great here, especially from Christian Bale, Michael Caine, and Liam Neeson. The technical aspects are amazing. The cinematography, production design, the sound. The film, I do think it takes a little bit to get going, but when it does, it gets better as it goes along. So yeah, it's an amazing start to the Batman Begins is an amazing start to the Dark Knight trilogy. Then number 6, I have the most recent Christopher Nolan movie, The Odyssey. Everything here, I think, is a perfect film from here on out. But yeah, number 6, The Odyssey. Phenomenal film. The performances here are amazing from Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, John Leguizamo. Samantha Morton has a great scene in here. John Bernthal's great. Elliot Page. Everyone here is amazing. The movie is impeccably made with the cinematography, the score from Ludwig Göransson. The sound design was incredible. The direction from Nolan was great. This is probably the biggest Nolan's gotten. Like, how much bigger can you go from The Odyssey? And the story here was very intriguing about Odysseus having to return home, and there's these other plot lines with Telemachus having to learn more about his father and Penelope and the suitors, and everything here is great. Robert Pattinson's amazing. Yeah, phenomenal film. There are standout scenes in here, like the Cyclops scene, the Cersei scene. Yeah, The Odyssey is one of my favorite films of the year so far. Love The Odyssey. Now we're going into top 5. This top 5 was hard because there's so many great movies in this top 5. But number five, this one a lot of people may have at their top. Actually, this is the most popular Nolan film on Letterboxd, but it's Interstellar. Interstellar is an incredible movie. This visuals are amazing. The visual effects, the production design, cinematography, the sound. Hans Zimmer's score for this is one of his best. The writing is great. The story was very interesting. The performances are great, especially from Matthew McConaughey and then Hathaway again. Jessica Chastain was great. And this film also features two of my favorite scenes in the Nolan movie, with the docking scene and the scene where Cooper watches his children grow up. So yeah, Interstellar, another masterpiece from Christopher Nolan. Now we're on to number four. This one is one of my favorites. This is one of his earlier films, Memento. I think this movie, when I watched it, it blew my mind. I thought it was phenomenal. It hooked me from the very beginning, and it only got better as it went along. I thought the nonlinear structure worked here perfectly. This and another film that we're going to get into, I think, used Nolan's nonlinear structure in the best way. The editing is great. The direction is great. Guy Pearce's lead performance was phenomenal. So yeah, Memento is a masterpiece, and the ending was a complete jaw dropper. So yeah, Memento is an amazing Nolan movie, probably one of his more underrated ones. I love Memento. So that's our last one before going into the top three. My number three is probably one that a lot of people would have in their top two, but it's Inception. Inception's a masterpiece. What do I have to say about this? It's a phenomenal film. The visual effects, again, are amazing. The production design is amazing. This one is another all-timer score from Hans Zimmer. The cinematography, the editing is great. The sound, the directing. All the performances are great, especially from Leonardo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ken Watanabe, Marion Cotillard, Elliot Page, Cillian Murphy. Everyone here is amazing. The action's great, very engaging film, and a very engaging story about all these espionage agents being able to go into their dreams. All that is very interesting. So yeah, Inception's a great movie. Number three. Number two, this one I don't know if it would have been top two, but I think the ending really pushed this one to number two. Number two is Oppenheimer, which is a masterpiece from Christopher Nolan. This is probably his best recent. This is probably his best, definitely his best film of the decade so far, out of the three he's made. Yeah, the Oppenheimer was the film to win Christopher Nolan his Best Picture and Best Director Oscar, and it's phenomenal. Cillian Murphy's amazing. Robert Downey Jr. is amazing. Emily Blunt's great. Matt Damon, great. Cinematography is gorgeous. The editing is amazing. It's a perfectly paced movie. It's 3 hours, yet you never feel the runtime. The sound design here is great. Ludwig Göransson's score is probably his best so far. The Nolan's direction is great. Super intense movie. The gymnasium scene is super anxiety-inducing, as is the Trinity test and all of the scenes during the hearings. The gymnasium scene and the Trinity test are probably among my favorite scenes in Nolan films. And the script here is amazing. The dialogue here is very memorable, and I think will become iconic for years to come. And the nonlinear structure, again, I think this and Memento use the nonlinear structure in the best way. See, Oppenheimer is one of the best films of the decade so far, and it's my second favorite Christopher Nolan film. But number one, it's probably a lot of people's number ones, but it is The Dark Knight. Probably my favorite comic book film of all time. The film blew me away from the first scene to the last. The direction, phenomenal. The script is the best script for a comic book movie. Technical aspects are, again, top tier. The action sequences are amazing. The ending was insane. There are so many standout scenes. The interrogation scene, the ending, the final confrontation. all the scenes are amazing. And the performances here are incredible. Christian Bale's great. Aaron Eckhart was great as Harvey Dent. Gary Oldman. And then Heath Ledger, I think, gives one of the best performances probably in any film ever as the Joker. He won a posthumous Oscar for supporting actor. I think The Dark Knight is a one-of-a-kind movie, and I'm not sure if any comic book film will top it. So yeah, that is why that's why The Dark Knight is my favorite Christopher Nolan film. So to refresh, my ranking is for every Christopher Nolan film: number 13, The Dark Knight Rises; number 12, Tenet; number 11, Following; number 10, Dunkirk; number 9, Insomnia; number 8, The Prestige; number 7, Batman Begins; number 6, The Odyssey; number 5, Interstellar; number 4, Memento; number 3, Inception; number 2, Oppenheimer; and number 1, The Dark Knight. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my Christopher Nolan ranking. He's one of the best directors working today, and he's made so many incredible films. So thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I'll be back in a few hours to give my thoughts on the Avengers Doomsday trailer. I'm not sure whether or not they'll be controversial, but yeah, I have a lot to say about the Avengers Doomsday trailer. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.